This is the stretching module, a module in which an expert in the field will explain all the basics and keys to being successful at a regular stretching program.
Hello, my name is Clark Brown. I'm the owner of Brownstone Physical Therapy. And it seems like no other factor associated with athletics is bigger than stretching. What I mean by that is no factor is more important to an athlete than having adequate flexibility. And we talk about stretching every day. We talk about stretching for three reasons, primarily. One is to reduce delayed onset muscle soreness, the soreness you get after a hard workout. We stretch to make the muscle tendon unit longer because, after all, we want to lengthen things so that they stretch out and you don't fight your own tension. A third reason why you'd stretch is to reduce the tenderness and irritability of trigger points, which are associated with rigorous activity, high-intensity activity, and trigger points hurt, cause restriction, and limit your overall athletic ability. In the spring sports, we talk about flexibility of a shoulder for the throwing athlete, tennis, softball, baseball. And when you throw a baseball or a softball or swing a tennis racket over your head, your body does it. You generate all the forces of throwing into the tennis ball, into the baseball. You throw with your entire body, with your legs, your torso, your core, your chest, your shoulders. Everything throws the ball. But when the ball or the tennis ball has left the racket, and the baseball has left your hand, what you're left with is a few short little muscles to slow the ball down once the ball is gone, or to slow the racket once you finish the stroke. This is a shoulder blade, and on it are the 4 rotator cuff muscles. So these 4 little rotator cuff muscles are no different than a hamstring or a quadricep. They need to be stretched. The muscles can develop trigger points in them, and that's soreness. The tendons can get irritated because these are so tight. Everything can get sore because you're throwing a baseball or a tennis racket so hard. So for all of those reasons, again, we need to stretch. Now let's show you how to stretch a couple of these muscles to make the point. So stretching the rotator cuff muscles primarily is associated with rotation of the arm. When the arm is rotated backward or externally rotated, the rotator cuff muscles in the front, subscapularis, is put on stretch. We need that muscle to be stretched out so he's comfortable going all the way back in the cocking phase of throwing. When he internally rotates, we want the backside muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, to also be flexible so that the arm can completely go through its follow-through. Now you can notice here that when we rotate his arm down, how early his shoulder blade comes up. His arm should easily reach horizontal with no elevation of that. That is tightness. That is a source of impingement and tendinitis. So he needs to stretch this movement. One of the more common stretches we use is the sleeper. Okay?
Go.
Stretching the external rotators by taking the arm into rotation internally and allowing for more follow-through and less stress on the shoulder can be performed by the sleeper stretch, we call it, where the athlete can take the other arm and gently stretch down until they feel a stretch. And this is where things get technical. This stretch should be done very casually, no discomfort. If there's any pain at all, the muscle will guard and it won't stretch. So he's pushing down very gently. I'm going to tell him to stretch 2 minutes. But if I told him to stretch for 10 minutes, he would say, okay, no problem. It's that gentle. He's going to do this stretch when he's warm, after throwing, after exercising. When this muscle is warm, when the tendons are warm, he's going to stretch much better.